Lululemon Athletica is announcing a partnership with the National Football League and Fanatics Inc. to launch a new clothing line for all 32 NFL teams, with the collection launching today. This is the first time Lululemon is offering its officially licensed products to the NFL. Here to talk more about that is David Swartz, a senior equity analyst at Morningstar Research Services. David, thanks very much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
What do you think of this move?
It's another move by Lululemon to really get more involved in the sportswear space. Historically, Lululemon has really been seen as a women's athleisure company first and foremost, but in recent years, the company has really become more of a broader sportswear firm by introducing a lot of new products, including some footwear and as well as some new marketing. Lululemon has become more involved in sort of traditional sports marketing by sponsoring a number of professional athletes and also doing some partnerships like the one with the NFL and Fanatics that was just announced. Last year, Lululemon had a similar deal for NHL gear. So the company is, as it's grown and now it's $11 billion sales company, is becoming more of a diversified sportswear firm that can attract customers from different demographic groups and also expand its men's business especially.
And now they've been with the NHL for a year. What kind of results are they seeing from that? What's the response been?
It's really a small business. I don't think Lululemon has really given us any kind of financial numbers from that partnership. But and for a company its size, it really probably doesn't matter too much. But it is a move by Lululemon to try to expand its market and its advertising to consumers that maybe don't see Lululemon, as a brand for them historically. And so, I think a lot of people don't really realize how large Lululemon's men's business is now, even though it's been around for quite a few years. And so, it's really more of a marketing opportunity than a sales opportunity. If you look at where Lululemon is expanding, most of its growth really is actually international. Its sales growth in North America has really slowed considerably. And also its store growth in North America has slowed too. So this NFL deal and the NHL deal, these are really more marketing opportunities than drivers of significant sales or profits.
So should they be looking beyond that, or should they? Will this pay off? And okay, I got a couple of questions. First question: what do they have to do with the NFL to attract men who are watching football to start wearing Lululemon?
Well, I think they certainly can do that. Lululemon has built the men's business, and I think it's going to continue to build, and that's certainly a big part of the plan. And people don't necessarily see Lululemon as a sports brand, but this will change that, I think, as well as these other partnerships, and people will see it more of a company that's in the same category as Nike and Adidas. And so, I don't know that we're going to see a lot of people wearing Lululemon NFL gear anytime soon, but it's really a start. And down the road, I think there is a big opportunity in footwear. For example, Lululemon has only a really small business right now in shoes, but if you look at the larger sportswear market, footwear really drives the market. And so it is something that Lululemon needs to get into, and part of that is just changing the perception of the brand to be more of a broad sports brand than just a athleisure brand as it's been seen in the past.
And if they do start pushing towards footwear, could you see them partnering either with maybe a designer or a footwear company somehow?
That's very possible. It is very difficult to launch a footwear business. It's certainly a very competitive category, and it's only become more competitive in the last few years. And so it is a challenge for Lululemon, just like it's a challenge for everybody else right now. Nike, for example, has really been struggling. So, I do see partnerships as a possibility. Partnerships are common in this industry anyway, and Lululemon has done a little bit of that in the past. And in terms of footwear, I do think that Lululemon may need some kind of partnership or maybe even an acquisition to really make a big splash in that market. And then also down the road, Lululemon probably needs to consider more wholesale partnerships. Lululemon does almost entirely direct-to-consumer selling, which is great for its margins, but it also is somewhat limiting because Lululemon is missing out on consumers that may shop at stores like Dick's Sporting Goods or Foot Locker, but don't actually ever enter a Lululemon store. And so there are consumers out there that Lululemon is still trying to reach that it really is not reaching today.
And now, you, excuse me, you mentioned international growth is where the opportunity is. What are they doing to try and build that up and grow that?
Lululemon is expanding internationally, opening a lot of stores in China as well as in Western Europe. If you look at Europe, for example, Lululemon only has a handful of stores in even the largest countries in Europe. So there's a great opportunity there. Obviously, the brand is not as well known there as it is in the U.S. and Canada, but it is still a high quality brand, and I do think it's one that has strong perception for the consumers who do know about it. And then in China, Lululemon has a small number of stores compared to competitors like Adidas and Nike, which have thousands. And so it could be opening stores there for years. And it is a very large market, and it's the #2 market now for sportswear in the world, behind only the U.S. And so there is an opportunity there. There's also opportunities in other parts of the world, including Asia, other parts of Asia. And so, I think this is one of the reasons why Lululemon is undervalued right now. My fair value estimate is $295 a share, which is way above the current stock price, certainly. And I think that people are underestimating the real opportunities that are ahead of Lululemon.
And I just want to get in one more question. Dupes. Lululemon is getting into dupes. I had to look up what a dupe is.
Yeah, so a dupe is basically a lower cost alternative. So it's essentially a copy. This isn't really anything new. Lululemon has been copied for years. There's a lot of companies out there selling leggings and other products that are similar to those of Lululemon, but at lower prices. I do still think that it is a problem for Lululemon. There's so much competition, but I do think that Lululemon has a strong following, and that its products are still extremely popular and very high quality fabrics, and that really is not available to people at lower prices. So there is differentiation in this industry, and I do think that Lululemon's products still stand out as premium products, but it is true that there are a large number of lower cost alternatives.
Okay, David, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
David Swartz is a senior equity analyst at Morningstar Research Services.